Guess not. All right, we're live, and this is From the Margins with James Lafont and David Washington. How are you, Jimmy?
I am fine. This week we had our new president sworn
Yes.
in. Curiously, the right and all the religious people maybe never observed that he did not put his hand on the Bible when he sworn in. It's not a requirement, so don't get bent out of shape.
Yeah.
Uh, and his speech, if that's the case, was unimpressive. But his numbers of people who saw them, even though all major channels had them on, even the Fair and Balanced channel had him on for the longest. His viewership was very low. Now they're trying to say it's because it was a holiday and because people were off because it was Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
Look, you can see TV any place you want, even on YouTube. So let's stop pretending that it was not there. People just were not interested. It was interesting that it was indoor parade. It was an indoor ceremony because he did not want to get cold. He did not want the people to get cold. The truth of what I hear is that the numbers were not going to be there because of the cold, and it was going to look really not enough people. So that's why he didn't do it. From his speech, a lot of crazy things came out. I'm kind of surprised that people are surprised that they say he said all these crazy stuff. Yes, he's been saying that for years. But why are you
Yes,
surprised that
it's
he
true.
said crazy stuff? Uh, the one thing that he dedicated time to, and he's still firmly into, is the Panama Canal. Uh,
Yes.
his numbers are wrong, but that's beside the point. Only 500 some Americans died constructing it. Most of the people who constructed the Panama Canal came from Bahamas and the Caribbean, and they did die, but they were not U.S. citizens. People died, but they were U.S. citizens. Yes, the United States spend money building the canal, and that is true. What he would have to do is deal with the fact that the Panamanians, after they took over the canal in 1999, have invested something like $99 million. I mean, about $3 or $4 billion to renovate it. Hey, they're making an average of $5 million a year from it. And for the information of everybody, the U.S. pays about $1 million of that 5 billion that they make every year.
Mhm.
Uh, what I think he's trying to do is when Carter gave it up, he said that if necessary, because the canal was in danger, that the United States reserved the right to intervene. I'm not sure how he's going to prove it, but he keeps saying that the Chinese control it, and I'm not sure where he's coming from on that one because there's no evidence of that. But then again, uh, he's famous for making up stuff and people believing him, so, which that's the part I don't understand. But yeah,
Right.
the rest of the speech was not that consequential. Everybody knew he was going to pardon all those criminals, and that's fine. He claims he's for law enforcement and all that. He's not. It's all about him. And he signed an executive order, and now, according to all federal agencies, must refer to it as the Gulf of America. Everybody else is going to continue calling it the Gulf of Mexico because he doesn't have the power outside the federal government to order anything. So, you know, maps will come out with Gulf of Mexico and everything else will come out with Gulf of Mexico, but that is fine. Uh, so we're going to have to see. He's passed some things about not letting people into the country and that. And the Bertha one is going to be the one that's interesting because he has the authority with executive orders to order things within the federal government to be done. The question is, can he order other people to do things that are contrary to the Constitution? Because after all, Article 14 gives it that everybody who's born in the United States is a United States citizen. So we will see how he's going to be able to take away citizenship of people who are born here. But it is been an interesting week, and it's been an interesting week again, where the Democrats are doing shit. I can't say what they're doing. Uh, I'm not surprised that Marco Rubio was approved because, set apart of his politics, the man was in the Intelligence Committee and the Foreign Affairs Committee. He knows about that stuff. I, compared to the person's proposed for Secretary of Defense and him, he's this qualified. The other one is that qualified. So yeah, uh, and he's one of the good old boys in the Senate, and everybody voted for him. So we're good to go. The rest of the confirmations are going to be interesting. They're really going to be interesting in an uphill battle. He has a point. Last time he came around, he was surprised. He had no idea. He,
Yes,
he
that's
took it
true.
by surprise, and he could find people, and he had people to recommend him. This time, with the prior 2025, he walked in with almost every appointment made within the first week. So that's going to be interesting how long they're going to take to confirm a lot of these things and what he's done. And by the way, there at the end of the prom is where I'm going to come up with the fuck up of the weeks.
That's right. That's right.
I have not forgotten.
I just want to give my 2 cents in regards to the points that you made. Um, from conversations I've had with individuals who had been in DC for the events, and even afterwards, there appears to have been a significant security concern regarding the safety of not just the president and his family and the rest of the dignitaries and attendees of the inaugural activities, but everyone in DC, and therefore there was elaborate apparatuses of security apparatuses set up. And that was just having conversations with people who were there or had spouses or loved ones or friends or business partners who were there, and folks who actually lived there. Just extraordinary security precautions that were made. So I was like, whoa, okay, something's going on here. But, who knows? Who knows? And I don't think they'll ever say unless there's an executive order that will release that information. In regards to Panama, my understanding, China does a lot of business in South America, Africa, and Central America, where Panama is. And my understanding and my research is very thin. So I will preface this conversation to all the commentators out there. I will preface this statement with saying that it's very thin research, but it's my understanding that the Chinese are very involved in the Panama Canal as far as helping keep the maintenance of the canal and the upgrades needed to keep it modern. And so I could see the interest in the Panama Canal being on one of the president's priorities, and I can also see the same for Greenland too. The concern about that northern passageway that has opened up due to the polar ice caps melting. There's now a northern passageway for Russians and Chinese and whoever else to pass across the globe, and a much easier path than in the past. Um, Oh, and then the birthright citizenship. I just saw about an hour ago. There has been a temporary order blocking the birthright citizenship executive order issued by a judge. So, I think about 22 states had filed court actions in the last maybe 2 days. Today's Thursday, yeah, about the last two days to block this executive order. So here we go, Jimmy. Here goes the battle over birthright citizenship. And then as far as I was just trying to look it up while you were talking. Uh, you know, Marco Rubio's now Secretary of State Marco Rubio got 99 votes for and 0 against for his confirmation. So congratulations to the former senator from Florida. He is now Secretary of State, and he just hosted. Um, I forgot members from Southeast Asia, if I remember correctly, recently, and has already started, conversations with world leaders about the direction America's going in. And Pete Hegseth, I believe the Senate, either right now, I'm trying to find this right now, but I believe the Senate is voting for his approval. And the Senate, the Hill reports that the Senate advances Hegseth's nomination. Collins and Murkowski voted no. Um, So yes, NBC News um, reports that Pete Hegseth's nomination to lead the Pentagon clears a key hurdle in the Senate. Senators voted 51-49 to advance Hegseth's defense secretary bid. So here we go. Here we go.
Well,
Amazing.
that's good to know that we have that much of a vote.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look. This going. I'm going to say this. It's a new generation. It's going to do. They're going to do new things. Uh, we're going to be angry about them. We're going to be pissed off about them, and that's fine.
Sure.
That's the American way. The concern that we should have, and we don't want to discuss, is that basically how far are they going to go with this? And they're going to go as far as they can.
Hmm.
They're afraid not of doing the right thing. They're afraid of not getting reelected. The two senators that didn't voted against the president's nominee is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting that
The
uh,
two females.
Mitch McConnell also voted for him. It's going to, especially when Mitch McConnell has announced he's not running for reelection, so he had nothing to lose. But apparently, there was something there that made him vote and give in to our dear president. So, look, things are going to get worse before they get better. Get used to it. The the law is a joke. He has ordered already things to be done that you will be surprised. Look, this morning he had a press conference, and the people around him were not press people. They were people who are making money, who are
Mhm.
billionaires and people like that. And the people who voted for him don't realize that he doesn't give a shit about them. He cares about making money. He's made billions of dollars by just backing Bitcoin and saying that he's going to make it this way. He's got money galore for this. So look, he's in there to make money, and God protect him that he makes money, and God protect our country from his fuck ups, because they're going to be frequent and many.
I know that with the Trump meme coin that was issued just before he was sworn in, brought in billions of dollars. I believe it's off his high. But then about a day or so later, the Melania coin, meme coin token dropped. And so, yeah, you're right. He is about making money. There is no doubt about that. And if anyone thinks otherwise, then I don't think they've been paying attention over the 40 years that Trump has been on the national scene or international scene. The Trump organization is just that. The Trump administration is just another business um, uh, affiliate or apparatus of the Trump organization. And I think the tech industry leaders, Bezos, Zuckerberg, Musk, what's his name? Pichai? I can't remember. Suhair Pichai, I think, from Google. I should know this. Larry Ellison, SoftBank's son, um, Sam Altman, Mark Andreessen. They realize that if they're going to be making money, if they're going to advance their technological innovations, at the same time makes a ton of money doing it, they're going to align themselves with Trump. So I think right now it's just a matter of protecting yourself and getting your house in order for the average Joe. And if you can invest in where this gilded age is moving, this new gilded age is moving.
Well, you can if you have the money. The
Yeah.
majority of people don't have the money. The
Hmm.
majority of people are too stupid to realize that there's money to be made. They still believe that Trump is going to be their savior, and all of a sudden he's going to send them all a check for $100,000, and they're all going to be saved by him. And I understand that. I really do. But what I think we need to understand is, yes, there's going to be money made by him. The question is, to a certain degree, what is going to happen once
Hmm.
people wake up? And I give you an example. Has Russia been passing ships through next to Greenland? Has China? Yes. So has most European countries. And for the record, so has the U.S. Okay. You mentioned a while ago that China is giving support to the Panama Canal. Yeah, you're right. But let's put it in a proper perspective. Everybody was given a fair chance to make an offer to come in and do the maintenance. Just like here, the lowest bidder gets the contract supposedly, and there the lowest bidder was China, and China got the bid to do the maintenance. And for the record, I understand that no U.S. company offered. There were some European countries that offered, but no really an American company offered because they're all outside of the United States, only put, and they got it. Do the does is China getting contracts out there, left and right? They've been competing with us, and and we're responsible for it. Uh, Timu's taking off because it's cheaper than Amazon. Amazon is now trying to compete with Timu, but Timu's Chinese. Everybody knows it's Chinese. They're cheaper, so we're going to buy from there. You go to Walmart, 90% of things that are in Walmart are made in China. You don't care. They're cheaper. I'm buying them. Okay? Most people don't know where their food comes from. All they care about is the price. Look up north, half of the eggs eaten in New York and what you call New England and even Illinois come from, believe it or not, through Lake Erie and the other lakes come from Canada. Okay, there's a lot of pork and beef and other products that come from Canada. As a matter of fact, as strangely, believe it or not, most of the potatoes that are eaten in certain areas in South and Central America are produced there. So when we tend to think that we still are a great exporter of things, we're not. We're a
Mm.
great consumer of things. Uh,
Right, right.
and that is where the problem lies. And again, it's going to analyze in what I call the fuck up of the week because people do not understand that they're voting against their own interests. Look, making Bezos richer, making Musk richer, making other people from Meta richer is mm, a stupid idea because it's going to hurt everybody. But the truth of the matter is that all they want to hear is that he named the of America. Yeah, he's closed the frontiers. Yeah, he took away the birthright. Oh wait, he really didn't. But it sounded good when he did it. So, and it's
Right.
him, it's all these liberals who are trying to make sure that the law is followed. We don't want these people to be U.S. citizens, so we're going to take it away. So, yes, it's going to be an interesting 4 years. But right now, I don't know if you saw the end of the Big Short, which is the movie about,
Yes, I did.
and where he says that who got blamed at the end? Was it the bankers? No.
Mm.
Why? Because they took their money, they bought the media, and basically the media said, hey, it's the immigrants' fault, it is the teachers' union's fault, it is this people's fault. The bankers were just doing their job. Bullshit. They were making money left and right.
Yes, they
But,
were.
but with all due respect, people still keep buying this.
Yeah.
And that's part of why most people call the media fake. What they haven't realized, or stupid enough not to realize, is that their media is true, the other media is fake. As a matter of fact, there's an Chuck Lorre did something in Bob Hart's Avasala. That's a new TV series that they've created.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I,
that this white guy from Detroit falls in love with this girl from Nigeria.
wasn't there a movie similar to that?
Yeah,
But I think I know what you're talking about. I seen like a preview of it whenever I walk past a TV display at Walmart or something.
but one of the nurses keeps saying that they're confused, that they think that because they're from Nigeria, that the police and people are not going to discriminate against them because of the color of their skin, that they're crazy and that they're stupid. And basically, Abosela says, "Whoa, but not according to the news. The news says this." And she looks at, "Where did you hear that?" And she says, "Fox News, which is balanced and fair." And what was kind of interesting is that all the Nigerian people who were in Detroit believe what Fox News says, even
Sure.
though. So, you look, it's interesting because a lot of people tell me, why are Hispanics and African American voting for Trump? They're fed up too.
Yeah.
There we are.
And that leads me to bring up the liberals. You mentioned the liberals, and looking back on this election cycle, and I'm trying to write an ebook into what what failed and what succeeded in this last cycle. And I look at the liberals and the Harris Walz campaign, and every tactic and every strategy that I could think of that they use. And now I'm seeing a lot of talk, and but not a lot of like action. We didn't see a march in DC on inaugural day. We didn't see any like city to city to city protests like we saw in 2016. And I don't know, when you look at our state here in Florida, the Democrats, liberals are decimated. Well, the Democrats, let me put it that way. What do liberals do besides kind of wring their hands and clutch their pearls for the next 2 years and hope and pray that something different will happen in the midterm elections?
Let's start by saying one thing. Do not call Kamala Harris and Walz liberals. They're not.
Mm, what are they?
They're centrists. And I appreciate that they are, just like Joe Biden, okay?
Okay,
Like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. I'm sorry, they're centrists.
really?
Oh, well, you know who's a liberal? Bernie
Bur-
Sanders,
okay,
Elizabeth Warren. Okay, I could keep going on that they're
okay,
liberal, and they've been pushed aside. AOC, liberal, push aside.
okay. Would liberal and progressive, in your definition, be synonymous?
Hell no,
Really?
no.
So who would be a progressive in the Democratic Party if it's not AOC, Warren, or Bernie?
Bernie, AOC, uh, Warren, and there's about 6 or 7 other Congress people are liberals. Progressive is a coward name that some people invented to say, hey, We don't want to use liberal because that has a bad connotation. So we're going to call ourselves progressives. Progressive is my insurance company. I am a liberal. Stop pretending that we're something else. And the people that you could call even progressive in the party, they've been pushed aside. Okay? Literally, they've been pushed aside. As a matter of fact, I swear to God, this is my conspiracy theory, and I know it is. Everybody knew that Biden was senile. Somebody said, hey, the way to get him out, let's have the debate in June, which we never had a debate in June in all these years. But we decided when he showed how senile he was, hey, let's push him out. Let's bring somebody who's one of us and put Kamala and find somebody to run for vice president and not allow the progressive slash liberals to run on one of their people and possibly win. That was done, in my opinion, on purpose.
Okay.
So, was there a fair election for our presidential candidate? The answer to that is no. Was it? Did they threaten people who ran against Biden? Yes. The congressman from Minnesota is out of power, and he's out of the inner circle. Was he a progressive? Not really. He just was right. We need to find the youth of this party and allow them to run the the party. Look, Pelosi is not the minority person, but she still controls the strings. Stop
Yep.
pretending that she doesn't.
Very powerful.
Okay? Chuck Schumer controls the Senate, and with all due respect, I would never call him a progressive or a liberal. The
No.
problem right
Yeah.
now is that basically, let's get historical. In 2020, Sanders won all the caucuses and all the primaries, okay, before South Carolina.
That's
All of
correct.
a sudden, all of a sudden South Carolina came out, a small state, and don't misunderstand me, a state that in numbers for uh, delegates is insignificant. I'm sorry, but it is. Doesn't have that many delegates. And all of a sudden, oh, the thing turned, and all of a sudden, New York suspended their primaries, and everybody else started because of COVID, and basically they went behind the things and said we're going to declare Biden a winner.
Hmm.
Uh, and again, it was stolen. So when you talk about where are we, I don't know, because basically we've been pushed away from the party. We've been pushed aside. We've been told that they know better than we do and that there is no open participation. I'm sorry. Uh, you have slates that win the local party elections, and let's not pretending that we don't. We do. We're going to have a slate electing the near chairman of the state party, and that's going to be good. And basically, at the end of the day, those of us who have a voice, who are progressive, have been pushed aside in our party. Our party does not
Okay.
have an open patent for progressives or liberals. And basically, you know, we're fighting internally. I don't know if you saw Bill Moyer last Friday,
No,
but, but he blamed the diversity as the reason that a lot of houses burned down in California because they're more concerned about diversity in their appointments than they are about anything else. They were concerned about electing a African American mayor instead of a white male because of the image that might create. Is there certain truth to that? There is. But it's
sure.
not
Yes.
because of minority. It's because they want to control the inner circle. They don't want anybody from outside. They want to control. And if that person happens to be African American, more power to you. If it happens to be that it's a woman, more power to you. If you happen to be LGBT, more
Check.
power to you.
Check.
But not necessarily because they're progressive. Because
Good
the
point.
least progressive person that assisted in my time is called Joe Biden.
Hmm.
Whoa!
As you
So
look at his 50 odd year, record, good point.
record, he isn't. He really isn't.
That's
So
true.
I'm the thing that we need to understand now is the reality of life. And the reality of life is very simple.
Hmm.
Democrats are completely disbanded. Democrats are completely in disarray. And we need urgently somebody to come out. I don't care how crazy he or she is, take over the rims and take us to 2028. Otherwise, we're doomed to lose again. The party has no real leadership. No, Nancy, you're not the leader of this party anymore. No,
No.
Chuck Schumer, you're not the leader of this
Yep.
party anymore. Akeem, you're not the leader of this party. You're not. Oh, California, with those fires, Norris is out of being able to run for governor. So president. So let's stop pretending. Oh, we have this mayor of this little city. We have this governor of that other state. Maybe he or she. And what are we looking at? Are we looking at the qualifications or are we looking at a team player?
And that may be the issue that has exposed the Democrats for being ineffective in this last cycle. Is it someone, are there leaders within the party? Are there party leaders who are about the business of the people and not necessarily someone who will get along to get along, that will do the bidding of the party? If there was something that would I could put my finger on in regards to the ineffectiveness of the Democrats, top to bottom and back up, is the fact that, like you said, are you amongst this group that checks the box for the Democrats and protected demographics that they draw their support on, because these particular demographics are aligning themselves with the Democrats and will not waver in their support for the Democrats. I think that's the issue in itself.
Well, and that's interesting because if we look at the last election, there's a criticism that Hispanics have abandoned the party. There's criticism that they don't understand why African Americans, in the numbers that they did, voted for Trump, which is
Hmm.
true too. So when people tell me we have to keep protect our demographics, what demographics? You abandon the white people, you have
That's true.
abandoned the white males, you
Yes.
think that you have the females, and they've been voting against you consistently, including they voted against Hillary Clinton as president. So, keep with the illusion that you have the female vote. You have no vote. All you have is a bunch of idiots who did and I'm going to take the last election, came up with they're weird, they're fascist, everything's okay. Yeah, we're going to keep with the good times. And do you really want that crazy person as president? Yeah, we don't. But what was our plan? What were we offering? Nothing.
Yeah.
Hell, nothing. So, with all due respect to the idiots who put together the campaign, you're morons. You need to change and adapt to the time. If there's
Agreed.
something I've given credit to the Republicans, they realize that people love Donald Trump.
That's true. That's true. I was in my Bible group earlier this week, and we started talking about the J6 individuals, prisoners who were pardoned and their sentences commuted. And one particular prisoner that I've been following since the um, his arrest was Elmer Stewart Rhodes, or commonly known as Stewart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers. And I did it, I think maybe definitely one podcast and maybe two podcasts about Stewart Rhodes. and like, wow, this dude came unhinged. And although he didn't step foot in DC, they were planning on a insurrection. And I was hoping that I would not see his name among those who would have a pardon or their sentences commuted. However, he did. And the group that was with, they see these J Sixers as men and women who were falsely imprisoned, and they're very passionate about their position in regards to what happened on January 6th and these individuals being arrested and imprisoned. And that's a whole different story for another day. And I can understand, their position. However, it stops with, the leader of the Proud Boys, the leader of the Oath Keepers, and their inner circle that were involved in seditious conspiracy against the United States. That part bothers me because that's pretty heavy, and to commute their sentences, I think sends a really bad message that could be repeated again and again and again.
Well, the truth of the matter is, unless we do something about it, it's going to. And the problem is, what is the party doing? The party, again, is hoping that he fucks up and that they say, look, he fucked up. He did not do his job. So basically, we are exempt of doing anything, and that's going to give us the victory. We could put a moron again to run for president, and he or she's going to get elected. I'm sorry. That's not,
That's
there's a
not strategy.
It's not. And some of this is on us. I'm sorry. When people are like, wow, you people, no, what did you offer them? A woman who said that everything was okay, the governor of Minnesota who called them weird, and speeches with no concrete plans other than following the Biden thing because that's what they wanted to do. Using Biden's people who were morons. And I'm sorry, if I offend you, I don't apologize. So, who were morons who came up with a campaign that even somebody as basic as you and me who have run campaigns.
Yeah.
Granted, they're local. Granted, we've never run a national campaign, but there's certain things that are basic. You have to get to communicate with the people, and you can't
Yep.
treat the people like they're stupid. Because if you do, you're going to pay the price. And when people say, well, wait a minute, what about Donald Trump? He doesn't try them like they're stupid. He
Yeah.
talks to them at that level, say, hey,
It's
these
true.
people are wrong. You are right.
That's
Okay?
true.
That is talking at that level that we disagree with that level, that we think is stupid what he's saying. They don't.
Hmm.
That's where we have failed. That's why they call us elite. That's why they call us that we think we know more than and that. Look,
Good point.
one thing I would advise whoever runs for president next time, say, look, we've done some stupid things. So has Donald Trump done some stupid things. But at the end of the day, what do you want to look for? You want to look for your purse and everything else. Has releasing the people from jail helped you economically? No, it hasn't. Has calling the Gulf of Mexico now the Gulf of America, has that helped you economically? Not really. Has the Turks helped you economically? No, it has hurt you because as much as he lies to you, the country of China does not pay it. They bring in their products, and whoever buys their products has to
Yeah.
pay the tariff, and
Yeah.
that's you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that is you. He in that aspect. He is a look. He's allied with the billionaires. They come and they're the ones who advise him. Who was at his inauguration? The billionaires. Who was the people who that he gave him money? The billionaires. Look, stop pretending that he cares about you. He doesn't. He's using you. Bingo. That's a great campaign strategy. But no, we don't do that. Look,
Right.
I hate to say
Right.
this. I'm going to start with one. Bill Maher, you're not a liberal. You're a centrist. And by the way, Yes, the woke thing is wrong in California, but the most people in California, that's what they want to hear. That's what they agree with. So get up with the times. If you don't like it, move out of California. Sorry. But California is a liberal, hip state that believes in that stuff, and that's why the politicians down there use it. Once it doesn't work anymore, maybe. But right now, that's what it works. It's like that would not work in Florida, but
Right.
it works in California. And for the record, it
Okay.
works. I understand it works in Chicago to a certain degree. Try to tell the people in Chicago that you're going to end affirmative action, and you might have a problem of getting reelected. It's okay. So
That's true. Brandon Johnson, Mayor Johnson, is going through some issues there in Chicago, and affirmative action will be the least of his concerns. However, going back to the Democrats in general, you know, if if they're going to be relevant in these next 2 years, uh, Jimmy, do you think, because we didn't see it in this last election cycle, um, a $1.5 billion campaign not thinking outside the box? Do you do you think that whether the nominee for president or um, new congressional leaders who will be up for election will have to start thinking out of the box to not necessarily be, the type of character like President Trump, or have the persona of a President Trump, but be dynamic, be agnamic. That's the word. Be kind of bombastic in a way, and kind of rile things up, but not just in personality, but also in the strategy to actually win and become relevant again.
Well, let's start from the beginning. If you're going
Okay.
to go into a campaign with walks, ideas, and that's what you're manifesting, yeah, you're going to lose. If you go in
Okay.
and say, look, the price of eggs are up, and you know we could blame for that? The buddies of Donald Trump, the rich people who are making more money and raising your prices because they give money to Donald Trump to allow them to do that. Bingo! That might be something different. But this
Mhm.
thing, well, they're weird. They're fascists. They're doing things wrong. Man, look, that's the other thing is, hey, you want Fox News is not fair. It is not balanced. It is like every other media, either to the right or to the left. You want the truth? This is the truth. Let me tell you, the truth is that the media is purchased by the pharmaceutical companies. The media is controlled by the people in Washington, and basically the truth
Mhm.
is that your politicians don't serve you; they serve the rich. You want that to continue? Vote Republican. You want us to stop that? Vote Democrat. That is a simple message that we could be taking out and going towards the people with it. Not this, well, they're weird. We have to keep the coalition working. Shh, times have changed.
Yeah.
Part of the coalition, the Democrat Party's gone with Donald Trump because they're fed up with our bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay?
And
And the
mhm.
bullshit is that these people have taken over our party and taken it to the wrong area. Not because they want to help the American public, but because they want to maintain their personal power. And
Okay.
that's why, as much as we can, we need to run a Democrat against a Democrat and try to get the right people in Congress and in the Senate. Right now, we're going to have in 2 years a special election. 2 years for Marco Rubio's seat, 2026. We're in 2025. So it's really not 1 year. This is the
Yeah.
year that whoever decides to run should be putting his plan together.
That's
So who
right.
do we have? Who do we have? Nobody. Why? Because simply we're looking for the idiots in Tallahassee to tell us this is the person or that's the person. The last time around, Tallahassee said, we're not even going to get involved. We don't care. And when we got our candidate, she got the support of Tallahassee, which was minimum. Uh,
Yeah. Nobody
and
else.
basically, she ran the campaign as the party went. You know what? You're going to need somebody to say, fuck you, Florida Democratic Party. Fuck you, U.S. Democratic Party. I'm going to run my campaign this way.
Yeah.
And this way is going to be effective. This way, I'm going to go and call out, hey, DeSantis fucked up your education system. It's no good. Teachers cannot teach because they're afraid that he put them in jail. Bingo. You want to talk about taxes? Taxes are as high as any other place. You want to talk about DeSantis? How many industries did he bring in here? How did he improve our economy? Not at
Mm.
all. But he fucked with Disney, who was one of our biggest employers and biggest producer of income in the state, not because they did something wrong, but because of his ego. Go for
Yeah.
it. But the problem is that that's not the way we campaign, but that's the way they do. And that's what people want to hear. They want a dogfight. They want somebody who's going to go against their other one. God, for Pete's sake, learn something from Donald Trump.
Hmm. And Jimmy, the Republicans definitely here in Florida and at a national level, they have been planning and planning, and they have stuck to a central message that reverberates across America through their candidates. And I remember, since, oh my goodness, definitely when I got into politics, the saying, and I forgot who I heard it from. I forgot his name, but I see his face. The Republicans or conservatives want to shrink government so small that you can drown it in a bathtub, and that reverberates, and that's where we have Donald Trump as president. Again, I think the same person said, we just need the Republicans just need a serviceable president with workable digits to just sign off on the legislation and executive orders that they want. And boom, you've got stacks and stacks and stacks of executive orders ready for Donald J. Trump to sign off on. And he made a big show about it. And the Democrats just failed to capture that. It's all this, a lot of text messaging, a lot of tweets, a lot of posting on social media that they believe is going to move people to maybe make a comment, but to move them to actually come back to the party where we're seeing, like you said, Jimmy, they've lost the white male. Period.
Yeah,
They're bleeding Hispanic men and black men. The black vote and the black male vote and the Hispanic male vote is slowly inching up nationwide and here in Florida for conservative candidates. So there's a slow bloodletting of a core demographic for the Democrats, and they pander to the same core that they have, but it's not getting them wins when it comes to the national level, and of course here in Florida.
and it's sad to say, but we're in January of 2025. We
Yeah,
know it's going to be a special election,
yeah,
2026, for the U.S. Senate. The party has no money. The party has no help. The party's going nowhere. And who are they going to try to recruit? Who's
there should
left?
have been there should have been someone the day that um, Rubio was announced to be the nominee for Donald Trump for Secretary of State. There should have been a Democrat who had announced that day, like, I'm running.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Let's go. Let's get started.
But the truth of the matter is that they don't have the cojones. And you know
Right.
what you would be the ideal candidate? A white male! Yicky!
Yeah.
to run against a white male. Yay!
Yeah.
We tend to think of things and look, we have not run a white male for the U.S. Senate since Bill Nelson. Bill Nelson lost, but and that was the last time we ran, and it was because he was an incumbent, not because we would have picked him.
Yeah. Good
But
point.
after that is women, woman, and woman. Then after that, let's be honest, the last time we ran a white male for governor was a former Republican governor as a Democrat. Okay, because we couldn't find a good Democrat to run for governor. Right now, in 2 years, we have a governor's race.
Yeah.
Who's our
Yes.
leading candidate for governor as a Democrat? I don't know. Nobody knows. Why? Because we don't
Three.
think in those terms. We really don't think in those terms. We think in the terms of, hey, who cares?
Right.
We can't win, so let's forget about it. And that is the truth. We can win against these people. Look, we're going to go against a non-incumbent. We're going to go against DeSantis if he wins the primary, which everybody's accounting that he is. Even though I see some rumbles in the Republican Party that they're not happy with him, the people in the House and the Senate. But that's another story. We
Right.
don't have a candidate. So
No.
with that in mind, I would just say to the Democrat Party, get a pair of balls, put them in between your legs, and go forward. And
Yeah.
even if you think that
Thank you.
person is an asshole, let me clarify something to you. There's an asshole in the White House. As a matter of fact, there's two, president and vice president. And if you start going with all the other cabinet members, we could start counting a bunch of assholes. The American people want to be governed by assholes. So let's give them one. I have no problem with that. But this thing that, well, we have to be politically correct, and when they go low, we go high. No, no, no. You call me an idiot, and I'll call you back a motherfucker. Sorry, that's the new politics, and it's
Yeah.
taught to you by an old fart. Okay, that's the new politics. People do not. I don't know if you remember Newsroom, but in the opening
Yes.
scene, he says, "Why do liberals lose always? Because they are soft."
Yeah.
And that's our problem. We want to be soft and win.
That's right. It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. Look, if we're going to go back, the last president that we elected that was reelected was Obama. Prior to that, we had 8 years of Bush. We had 8 years of Clinton. Then we had 4 years of Bush, 8 years of Reagan, and 4 years of Carter.
Yeah.
And before Carter, 8 years of Nixon. Look, let's stop pretending,
Ford.
and Ford, let's stop pretending that we are a strong party. We need to get ourselves back together. Democrats, grow a pair of balls, put them between your legs, not in your hands, between your legs, go forward and take back this country because the only thing that ends up in your lap is when you go outside and it's raining. Other than that, nothing else ends up in your. And just think that hoping that if you give this or that, that your coalition is working, you're losing the Hispanic vote, you're losing the African American vote. And I hate to break the news to you. Look at 2016. The person who voted most against Hillary Clinton were females.
That's
Okay,
right.
the large
That's
group
right.
females just voted for Donald Trump. So this thing that we have the female vote,
Right.
bullshit. Stop lying to yourself. So grow yourself a balls and go forward and find yourself a good candidate to lead this party. Because otherwise, what you got right now, you're going to prove Einstein correct, which is repeat the same act, expecting a different result. If you think the leadership that you have right now is going to take you to 2028, you're full of shit. Sorry, but you are.
Mm.
Now, we're about to close this, so let me get
Yes.
into
Here we
the,
go, Jimmy.
the fuck up of the week.
All right.
Fuck up of the week, I have to grant it I'm going to split it with two people.
Okay, here we go.
The newly appointed Secretary of Energy, who entered an order suspending all pending contracts from the Department of Energy are being paid or being followed for the next 90 days. Now you're going to say, wow, what's the big deal? Well,
Ooh.
the money for roads is suspended. So those roads that are
Oh,
halfway there the next 90 days are suspended. It's not going to happen. Not going to
oh,
happen. Okay, the programs for solar panels, not going to happen. The programs for even, and this is going to be the weird one that I'm going to say, the programs that were there to try to find new sources of petroleum are gone because they're suspended. The thing about natural gas that are pending for payment of natural gas and the other are suspended. And here's where it becomes even more interesting. There was a lot of money in the Department of Energy after the hurricanes to rebuild the electrical grids that were screwed up by the hurricanes. That money is suspended
whoa.
for 90 days. That's the number one fuck up. But
Wow.
let's not leave out our president. He suspended for the next 90 days any spending on Medicaid, food stamps, PAM, and other financial relief to the poor. Now, let me wake you up, America. These programs were never created for the poor. They're the bullshit that they will tell you. These, and let me explain to you how I can say this. Who runs PAM, food stamps, and all these programs? It is not anybody else but the agriculture department. And it falls
Right.
under the category to help out farmers. So when people do not have food stamps, when they do not have Medicaid, and they do not have PAM money to go and buy eggs, bread, and other things, and the producers of that start to feel a decline in their sales, there's going to be a pressure. And when people start
Mm.
going to clinics and hospitals and paying with Medicaid, the health industry is going to suffer, and we're going to, and that's going to come back to hunt you. The idea that these programs are meant for poor people is bullshit. It's always been bullshit, and I'll call my party on it too. Oh, this is the help. No, it isn't. It's run by the Department of Agriculture because the Department of Agriculture is trying to help out these our local farmers to sell their products to people. Okay, and yes, and the pharmaceuticals who create on the PAM the formulas of milk of infamy and that. So people for mothers, it's really has never been to help out the poor. So when you say, well, let them get a job and pay for it, fine, not a problem. And if they
Right.
don't can't get the money to pay for it, they will suffer, no question. But who's going to come back and hit you back hard is the farmers. And by the way, the days of the small farmers are gone. Yeah, it's now
Yes.
an industry, and those large industries are going to come back and say, "You're screwing with us." But those are the two fuck ups of the week because they're not thinking through. Oh, let's suspend everything? Fine. And the money that was going to go next month to a road in Kentucky that has been approved for the last 2 years and has been spread out every 6 months. We give you X amount to build this, or once you build this, we pay you for what you build. That's going to stop. So people, uh, even the production of natural gas money is gone. Production of petroleum money is gone. So basically, it's if you think, well, the solar panels, that's a good idea. Well, yeah, it is good for some people, but there's some people who need it because right now they found out the hard way in North Carolina that what that they don't that they they took down their grids, and their grids money was tied up there. And the other thing, well, if they haven't spent this in 5 years, well, there's a lot of red tape why they haven't spent it. But once those prices coming down, That's going to be the fuck up of the week. You need to think of the consequences of what you're doing, Mr. President, and you have not. You're reacting, you're coming back with vengeance, and you're coming back to punish people. And that is your agenda, but you're going to, the poor and the great industries are going to suffer. That's my fuck up.
That's some heavy stuff,
Next
Jimmy.
one next week, because Donald Trump is always very entertaining.
Yes. And unfortunately, he's dropped some bombs on America. This is some significant news that I've missed. So I've got some reading to do. This is unfortunate.
Yes, but it is a reaction, and it was like when he froze the people, no new federal employees. It sounded good. Look, the federal budget of what we pay our employees is less than 1% of the total.
Right. Right.
Why don't you have cojones, Mr. President? Freeze all defense contracts for the next 90 days. I defy you. If you have cojones, Mr. President, which you don't, suspend all federal contracts, defense contracts, do that. And I guarantee you, you're going to get a reaction. Again, if you have cojones, suspend all federal defense contracts for 90 days. I defy you because you don't have the cojones to do it. And with that, I'll end the program because I don't think I can improve that one.
You knocked it out of the park today, Jimmy.
Okay. So,
Well done.
well done. So we will see you next week. Remember, subscribe, like, dislike. You want to make a short thing of this and send it to the people that I mentioned their names? I'll be glad if you do. If you don't, that's fine. And if you have a comment that you disagree with me, let me know. And the same with David. That's what we're here for. Please let us know. Take care. And by the way,
Thanks,
we're back in
Jimmy. Enjoy your weekend, Jimmy. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Okay.
Bye now.
Bye.